One of the confusions which we find is people get very confused between value, benefit, and cost. It's even as funny as the wealth, money, and value piece. Value is a completely made up thing, which is what you guys were holding me to earlier. It's basically some nutter looking at something and deciding they want it. It's based on a sort of misunderstanding. I have mouse. You have money. I have mouse. You have 100 euros. You look at my mouse, you go, I'd much rather have a mouse than 100 euros. I look at your 100 euros, I go, I'd much rather have 100 euros than this mouse. So who's correct? It's a misunderstanding. You think this is more valuable, I think your money is more valuable, so we swap them. Is that right? So you both feel happy because you think, yay, but actually it makes no sense. That's the way it works. And that gives us a lot of opportunities when the market is quite tight. Because normally what we think about is to get more value, we have to provide more benefit. That's how people usually think. So like with the Addison Lee example, we think about adding stuff. Because value is benefit minus cost. If the costs go up, your value goes down. This is what lots of organizations are realizing. So they're trying to squeeze their costs because they can't afford things, because nobody's buying the stuff. But you can go the other way as well. You can actually increase the benefits and reduce the costs. That's one way of doing it. Or you can really reduce the costs and reduce the value. Often, because I'm the industry I'm in, we're selling ideas, we're selling learning, we're selling interaction. And so sometimes we come across these purchasing people who you are describing, Dick. And they go, no, that course is far too expensive. We must have it for 2/3 of the price. And I go, okay. So we'll cut the modules or cut to fewer modules. They go, yes, yes, yes. So they do things like time. Then they try and squeeze you a bit more. So you go, okay, I'll just talk more slowly and pass across fewer concepts. So it's really funny, because when you get into one of these organizations which is trying to grind you down, in an intangible industry like mine, all you do is you just drop the benefits. As they force down the costs, you drop the benefits. So they were going to have 15 minutes for their coffee break. They have half an hour for their coffee break. Watch out for this one, because the two move together. Value is the benefits minus the costs. Where have you been looking? A lot of organizations have been slashing the costs, scared of damaging the benefits. It may or may not be a bad thing. But the benefits, up to you. The value is going to be determined by that other person. So when I was earwigging on yours, Alan, I think the secret is, because the costs have to go right down, you're going to have to look at the costs between yourselves and the customer and between yourselves and your suppliers. Because that's the only way you can actually give them some sort of benefit whilst dropping the cost so much. It's in those gaps. Does anyone here work seamlessly with all their customers and suppliers? I'm trying to get one of the things we do sometimes is we publish books, one of the businesses I've got. And the printer who we've used for ages has gone bust. So we're looking for a new printer. So we put the normal standard thing out there. Lots of companies came to pitch, and we looked at one of them, and we started talking to them. And we thought, well, we'll just get each company to sort of pitch for us on demand, print on demand, how they do it. So we gave them some manuscripts, great. Trying to work with them, nightmare. So you put the manuscript on the web and say, download it. They go, we don't have download facilities. What does that mean? Click, right click, save target as. Are you with me? We don't have time. You have to email it. So in transacting with that particular supplier, we've probably gone backwards 2 or 3 times. They're not going to win the contract because they're too expensive to do business with. They don't know that. But actually, they could take £200 off their costs, save us the hassle by behaving better, and both of us will make an extra 300 quid. So look out for those gaps. There is a lot of money to be had there, because traditionally companies haven't been very good at that interface. How do you make your sales visits? I'll tell you how we make our sales visits. I used to do it the traditional way. Client would phone up. You'd say, great, we'll come to see you. 3 or 4 people jump in the car, drive to see the client. As the client is talking, you scribble wildly. Am I right? And everyone's writing on their own dead trees, and you asking questions randomly. Then you go back to the office. Then you have another meeting. Meeting number 2, discussing what you've done. Then somebody types it up. Then it gets emailed to everyone for changes and comments. Then it gets put into the PDF, and the PDF gets emailed off to the client. Am I right? That's the traditional way of doing it. We do one person goes to see the client. Anyone else involved listens in on the loudspeaker phone. Okay, so just think about that. What?
Can I just comment on that?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not missing some bits.
Such as?
Well, maybe in your example you would think of them as intangible, but actually a customer face-to-face meeting,
Yes.
you and the team that are going to deliver the benefits
Yes.
to that customer, I think is very important.
But does the customer think it's important?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think the customer does think that.
I don't know. What we found was one face is enough. That's why I said one person goes. The others are on the phone. What we found is that customers, they don't really mind. Later, when you start putting the people who are going to be tutoring in front of them, then they select. But they don't really mind. As long as there's a human, our experience. I don't know about your industry.
For example, if you're the 4 people that are in the car, if each of them is meeting their counterpart, then you're actually, there's a big benefit to get from that. From the
Might
customer.
be. I don't know. This is my whole point. If somebody comes to see me in my organization and they bring 6 people to my organization, and I have to have a longer meeting because I'm talking with 6 people asking me random questions, I see that as bad when I'm the customer.
If it was random questions, it would.
But they do when you got 4 or 5 people. I don't know, you guys are obviously coordinated. But have you been on a sales visit or visit to a client? One person asks one question, then somebody asks something slightly tangential. While we're thinking about that, how about this? And you end up spending the 1-hour meeting. Why would I want a 1-hour meeting?
The old story about one thing for one customer and one for another, because for example, where I've let contracts, I've let contracts to this one wonderful person they
Yes.
send you. Once you've signed them dotted line and they've got the contract, then these donkeys actually deliver it and they're no good to you. Whereas I actually quite like, if I'm going to issue a contract, I actually want to meet in person the whole team.
Fantastic.
To deliver it.
Yes.
So I'm different to your situation.
You're different to me,
Yeah.
and it will cost you more money than it'll cost me, which is great. But you must be prepared to pay for that, because that lack of trust you have costs you money, because they will invoice you and it'll go to your bottom line. But if you can find a way of learning how to trust them when there's one face in front of you, you will save that money. You will save that time. I'm not saying how you should do it. I'm just saying be careful the customer actually wants this. Because sometimes it's about you and, well, I should be on that team because I'm senior enough to be representing and when we're going to a visit to a prestigious client. So just be really careful the customer has really said, I do like to see 6 people. And if they do, again, what we do is we build them. We say, if you want to interview all the 12 tutors, we're going to have to invoice you for that. Because some of our other clients take on trust, look at the brand. So if you're different...
Yeah, but it might be if you definitely want a particular type of person that is doing the presenting, that's going to deliver the image you want, you actually might want to be involved in having a say
That's
in
fine.
which people are actually going to work on your contract, might you?
Benefits, costs, move them to the right place, but the customer decides, not you. Okay? So the process I was describing of going and then writing stuff and bringing it back, what we found was that the traditional process, we got 1 in 3 bids because it took longer. At the same time, it cost 3 people about 8 hours. It's 24 hours of work, of messing around. When you put one person in front of the client and everyone listens in, if they're in front of the client and they're capturing stuff electronically on their computer, on their PDA, the moment they finish, they can share it with their colleagues. So you're not spending 24 hours of work. You're probably spending about 3 or 4 hours work. And actually, we found that the ability to deliver the outcome goes up. So instead of getting 1 in 3, we get about 90%. So in terms of productivity, it's something like, what's that, 3 times 9? 27 times as productive. Have I got my sums right? Yeah, 27. So again, it's your choice. This is all we're playing with. What we're doing is we're dropping our costs. We're dropping the benefits. They don't have everyone there in the dog and pony show. They're happy to have the lower benefits. The value to everyone has gone up. Ka-ching! Play with them. Play with the different areas. Different customers are different. Don't get stuck in assuming you know what they want. They're really weird. And especially in this day and age, if you can say, look, if we don't send a team of 12, you're not going to pay all those airfares. You're going to save £1,000, and we'll take that straight off the top of our costs. See what they say?